Good morning, students. In this lecture, we will talk about different types of sinusitis and rhinitis. First is vasomotor rhinitis. We have already talked about acute and chronic rhinitis. This is one of the different type of acute rhinitis, that is vasomotor rhinitis. It is a non-allergic rhinitis which simulates allergy. Means it is a non-allergic rhinitis, but its symptoms and signs are resemblance with the allergic rhinitis. Nasal mucosa have venous sinusoids surrounded by smooth muscle fibers, more commonly situated over the inferior turbinate and over the middle turbinate. Inferior turbinate, nasal mucosa of inferior turbinate has highest number of venous sinusoids, which are supplied by the parasympathetic nervous system. So whenever there is stimulation of parasympathetic nervous system in the nasal cavity mucosa, it causes vasodilation and engorgement of that venous sinusoids, and there is increase in the size of the inferior turbinate, and that causes the nasal obstruction and also the symptoms of rhinitis. Autonomic nervous system is under control of the hypothalamus. So whenever there is sudden emotional changes are present in a patient, that can develop vasomotor rhinitis due to imbalance between the sympathetic and parasympathetic activity. Non-specific stimuli like sudden change in temperature, blast of air, or sudden gusp of dust into the nasal cavity will cause the vasomotor rhinitis. The symptoms and signs are as same as rhinitis, but the mucosa of the vasomotor rhinitis patient is mildly bluish in color, while the mucosa of inferior turbinate and middle turbinate in the patient of allergic rhinitis is pale and pink in color. Vasomotor rhinitis treatment usually done by medical and surgical treatment. Medical treatment, for that we can give advice to the patient about avoidance of physical factors which causes imbalance between sympathetic and parasympathetic activity, avoidance of sudden change in temperature of surrounding area. Antihistaminic and nasal decongestions are useful to decrease the nasal obstruction, and topical and systemic steroid are the last mainstay of the treatment in a chronic case. Surgical treatment is reducing the turbinate size of mainly the inferior turbinate, and that will decrease the overall surface area of inferior turbinate and decrease the response of nasal cavity mucosa over the inferior turbinate to the imbalance in temperature. Last treatment is suctioning of the parasympathetic secretomotor fibers to the nose, which is supplied by the Vidian nerve. So Vidian neurectomy is the last treatment for vasomotor rhinitis, which is not treatable by medicines. Other non-allergic rhinitis are: first is drug-induced rhinitis. Drugs like antihypertensive drugs like reserpine, methyl-dopa, guanethidine, contraceptive pills, anticholinesterase drugs like neostigmines, they all have some component of anticholinergic activity, and they causes minimal amount of rhinitis on chronic use due to their adverse drug reaction. Rhinitis medicamentosa, that is due to the excessive use of oxymetazoline and xylometazoline nasal drops. Rhinitis of pregnancy occurs due to the imbalance in hormone during the pregnancy. Honeymoon rhinitis is because of sexual excitement and imbalance in hormone. Emotional rhinitis, that is because of emotional changes and imbalance between parasympathetic and sympathetic activity of the nasal cavity mucosa. Rhinitis due to hypothyroidism. Hypothyroidism causes hypoactivity of the sympathetic system, and there is imbalance between the parasympathetic and sympathetic activity, and it causes rhinitis. Gustatory rhinitis, that is a cholinergic response to stimulation of sensory receptors on the palate. and can be relieved by the ipratropium bromide, which is an anticholinergic drug used as a nasal spray. It is mainly due to the spicy and pungent food. Non-airflow rhinitis seen in patients of laryngectomy and tracheostomy. In a patient of laryngectomy and tracheostomy, usually there is a stoma over the trachea which causes the inspiration and expiration. So nose is not used in this type of patient as a organ of inspiration and expiration. So add nose, because of that unused nasal cavity mucosa for respiration, it causes stagnation, decrease in the secretion of the nasal cavity mucosa and stagnation of fluid into the nasal cavity mucosa and causes scab formation and non-airflow rhinitis in those type of patients. Usual treatment for this type of patient is simple normal saline drops and occasionally steroidal nasal spray. Sinusitis. Sinusitis is acute inflammation of the sinus mucosa. That is the definition of acute sinusitis. Most common sinus affected for sinusitis is maxillary sinus, followed by ethmoid, frontal, and last is sphenoid sinusitis. Whenever there is simple one sinus affected, that is known as acute sinusitis, but whenever there is more than one sinus involved, it is known as multisinusitis. Whenever all posterior and anterior group of sinuses are involved, that is known as pansinusitis. Open sinusitis, whenever there is inflammatory products can drain into the nasal cavity, because of there is open, the ostium of a sinus will be open, but whenever there is ostium which is blocked and causes sinusitis, that is known as closed sinusitis, and it causes more severe symptoms because the pus and the sinus collection has collected into a closed cavity, so it will produce more pain and more symptom than simple open sinusitis. As we have seen that each sinus has an opening, so whenever there is sinus collection in a sinus and this sinus collection can drain directly from the ostium into the nasal cavity, that is known as open sinusitis. But whenever there is ostium is blocked and the sinus collection cannot go outside into the nasal cavity, that is known as closed sinusitis, and that causes more severe symptom than the open sinusitis. Etiology. There are different factors which causes the development of acute sinusitis. Main is nasal infection, that is the infection spreads directly or via the submucosal lymphatics into the nasal cavity from different surrounding area or directly from the air current. Swimming and diving into the swimming pool causes high content of chlorine into the nasal mucosa and causes chemical inflammation over the nasal cavity mucosa. Sometimes trauma and barotrauma can affect the sinus mucosal physiology and cause stagnation of fluid and causes acute sinusitis by bacterial infection. Dental infections. Infections from the molar and premolar teeth can cause maxillary sinusitis. Predisposing factors. This factor causes sinusitis in a patient who have all this previous history, as they help in development of sinusitis because of different reasons. First reason is obstruction to the sinus ventilation and drainage. As we have previously seen that all the sinuses have their ostium and they drain into the nasal cavity and nasopharynx. So whenever there is obstruction to the sinus ventilation over the inspiration or expiration and over the nasal mucosa drainage, it causes obstruction to the sinus ventilation and causes stagnation of fluid into the nasal cavity sinuses. DNS, nasal packing for the epistaxis or postoperative area, hypertrophic turbinates, polyps into the nasal cavity and tumor into the nasal cavity can cause obstruction to the sinus ventilation and drainage and can cause sinusitis. Stasis of secretion in the nasal cavity as seen in different diseases like cystic fibrosis, choanal atresia and enlarged adenoids. Previous attacks of sinusitis causes defense mechanism hampered and damage, and it causes repeated attacks of sinusitis if patients are predisposed to this type of predisposing factors. Usually sinusitis is more common in cold and wet climate. Pollution, smoke and dust also predispose to the development of sinusitis by chemical inflammation of the nasal cavity mucosa. Poor general health, as previously infection of measles, chickenpox, patients with nutritional anemia, nutritional deficiencies, diabetes mellitus, HIV and any other immunocompromised disease patients are more prone to infection of the nasal cavity and more prone to sinusitis. More commonly cultured bacteria from the sinus infections are Staphylococcus pneumoniae, Haemophilus influenza, Moraxella catarrhalis, Streptococcus pyogenes and Staph aureus. Usually because of infection of the bacteria into the sinus mucosa, there will be hyperemia and inflammation over the nasal sinus mucosa. It causes exudation of fluid and outpouring of the polymorphonuclear cells into the nasal cavity mucosa. It causes increased serous activity and causes secretion of the seromucinous glands and goblet cells and causes fluid collection into the sinus cavity. Whenever there is fluid is serous, there are less symptoms, but whenever there is infection of the bacteria into that serous fluid into the sinus, it causes purulent sinusitis. We will talk about different sinusitis in different slides. Acute maxillary sinusitis. Clinical features are, first clinical features are constitutional symptoms as we seen in a simple case of infection in our body, as fever, malaise and body ache. Headache usually over forehead and pain or tenderness is over the upper jaw, gums and teeth, as maxillary sinus are in close relation with the upper jaw. Pain is aggravated by the stooping, coughing and chewing movement. Tenderness is usually present over the anterior wall of antrum. We can elicit the tenderness of the maxillary sinusitis over this paranasal sinus area over the anterior wall of the antrum. Nasal discharge is usually purulent in nature, and this type of sinusitis are usually unilateral in nature. Post-nasal discharge can be seen in this type of patient. In pus will go into the nasopharynx and it will come into the oropharynx. Sometimes in children, whenever infection is severe, redness and edema of the cheek area is seen as maxillary sinus is involved. Transindumination test will give you the haziness over the maxillary area from the oral cavity. Maxillary tenderness we elicit over the anterior part of the maxilla. Investigation, we can go for routine complete blood cell count to know the exact idea of the WBC count, and for the treatment to know the extent of the disease we can go for X-ray paranasal sinus or X-ray water sweep, in which we can see the maxillary sinus. Here in this X-ray you can see that right maxillary sinus is black in nature, which is normal, but left maxillary sinus is haziness, filled with haziness, and that is because of maxillary sinusitis. The patients with maxillary sinusitis in CT scan you can see that right maxillary sinus is usually with some collection serous fluid into this area over the inferior part of the maxillary sinus, but the left maxillary sinus is totally filled with the pus, and that is suggestive of acute sinusitis. Medical treatment, usually whenever patient with sinusitis comes to you, we have to give antibiotics to decrease the bacterial load, nasal decongestion drops, stimulation, analgesic for the pain removal and fever, hot fermentation over the local area to decrease the pain. And the last treatment is surgical treatment, that is the enterology, in which we can insert a cannula over just inferior turbinate into the maxillary area and give normal saline wash. So whenever we give normal saline wash, if patient's sinus opening is intact, all the collection will go into the nasal cavity from here. So this is antral after doing maxillary anatomy from the just above the inferior turbinate area. Complications which can arise from the acute maxillary sinusitis are subacute and chronic sinusitis, in which patient experience repeated episodes of sinusitis due to some predisposing factor, as we have talked about. Sinusitis, full sinus all drains into the middle meatus. So whenever there is maxillary sinus is affected, meatus gets congested nasal mucosa, and that causes obstruction of the nasal duct. So maxillary sinusitis can develop the frontal sinus due to the frontal sinus drainage affection. Osteomyelitis or osteitis, infection of maxillary bone, can in a severe patient. Maxillary sinus can affect orbit because it is maxillary sinus roof will form the floor of the orbit. So infection can reach up to the orbit and cause orbititis or abscess. Acute frontal sinusitis, in which frontal sinus is filled with the pus and serous collection. Clinical features. Constitutional symptoms are as we have seen in maxillary sinusitis: fever, body ache, malaise, frontal headache, that is known as headache, situated over the frontal region. Tenderness of the frontal region can be elicited. Edema sometimes present over the upper eyelid, and blood discharge that is purulent, sometimes blood stain. Management, investigation and medical treatment are same as the maxillary sinusitis. Surgical treatment, the removal of the fluid collection from the frontal sinus, that can be done by two methods. Elimination of frontal sinus, that is done, and the lavage. First of all, we need to diagnose with the CT scan or X-ray paranasal sinuses. CT scan is best for diagnosis of frontal sinusitis. In this CT scan, that right side frontal sinus is affected, and that is where left frontal sinus is not. And this is the after surgery or lavage, in which you can see that area is drained and head. In this endoscopy, you can see that blood and edema over this area of the frontal recess area, that is the drainage pathway of frontal sinus. And after lavage of the frontal sinus, you can see that is cleared from the pus collection. So trephination of this lavage, which is done internally, and frontal sinus collection, and can insertion, that is injectable or normal saline preparation with antibiotic into the frontal sinus, and can drain the frontal sinus externally. So this is the trephination. Complication which can arise from the acute frontal sinusitis are osteomyelitis of frontal bone just anteriorly to the frontal sinus, as we have seen in the frontal sinus anatomy. That meningitis, extradural sinus repeatedly affected, then it will develop the chronic frontal sinusitis. Acute ethmoidal sinusitis, in which there will be acute inflammation of the ethmoidal sinuses, which are multiple in number. Usually clinical as the, but pain is medial and deep is aggravated by the orbit. Lips can see nasal discharge is usually purulent in nature. CT scan diagram of a ethmoidal sinusitis, in which you can see that these are the different affected ethmoidal sinus, in which you can see the fluid or pus collection. So whenever it develop multiple complication and patient can develop edema. Treatment same the maxillary sinusitis. Fetal abscess through the external ethmoidectomy is due to the itis. Functional endoscopic sinus surgery, that is the internal technique in which there will be no external sinuses will be drained from the nasal cavity via different endoscope and curve instrument. Complications which can develop from acute ethmoidal sinusitis are orbital cellulitis and visual deterioration and blindness if a number is affected, sinus thrombosis, abscess, meningitis and brain abscess. But these are patients worse. Acute sphenoid sinusitis, that is the large sinus affected by the sinusitis, and that is very rare. Clinical features of acute sinusitis, constitutional symptoms for acute sphenoid sinusitis will be as same as maxillary sinusitis, but patient's headache will be or vertex. Usually more commonly seen in this type of patient because sphenoid sinus usually drains into the sphenoethmoidal recess and it will directly go into the nasopharynx. These are mucocele of the sphenoid, neoplasm sphenoid sinus. Chronic sinusitis, whenever a patient affected with acute sinusitis develops repeated episodes of acute sinusitis because of some different predisposing factor, as we have previously seen in a case of acute sinusitis, patient will develop chronic obstruction of a particular sinus. Due to chronic obstruction of a particular sinus, there will be increase in stagnation of fluid into that particular sinus, and there will be collection of fluid with inflammation, and it will help in development of chronic sinusitis. Sometimes infection will, that is the, so that the normal defense mechanism of sinus is affected, and that of the sinus and DNS or adenoid is in impaired drainage. It associated and causes drainage of the per se a sinus. That fluid into the particular sinus, it will cause chronic sinusitis. Chronic maxillary sinusitis, in which patient will have chronic maxillary sinus collection and patient will have nasal obstruction, repeated episode of acute sinusitis, symptoms of fever, body ache, malaise, pain over local side. Those patient will be treated by patient, and we have seen that one cannula will into the maxillary sinus laterally, and irrigation of normal saline and normal saline with antibacterial solution can be inserted. We can do cardiac operation, that is making a hole into the most just above the canine fossa over the canine tooth over a particular sinus, right or left, and we will do the irrigation of the maxillary sinus. But nowadays this so due to the widening of maxillary sinus ostium, there will be no chronic sinusitis and all maxillary sinus collection will drain into the nasal cavity. Chronic frontal sinusitis, tryptophan we have already talked about, avoided by doing sinus surgery. External frontoethmoidectomy or that is also known as patients. Those type of patient, this indicate are there usually done was usually done previously by and removal of infected or collected sinuses into the ethmoidal cavity. But nowadays intranasal ethmoidectomy, that in which we remove the anterior and posterior ethmoid sinuses by debrider and different functional endoscopic sinus surgery instruments. Chronic sphenoidal sinusitis, in which we can go for sphenoidotomy, is the dilatation of sphenoidal sinus ostium via so these all which are bacterially affected so occur in a sinus or multiple sinuses. There are only 4 varieties of fungal sinusitis affecting a sinus. First is fermentation of a implantation of a fungus into the healthy maxillary sinus or ethmoidal sinuses. Maxillary sinus is mostly affected. Here, fungus is merely present in the maxilla, invaded a sinus mucosa. Diagram, you can see that here in nasal the well demarcated in this type of patient. So you can die, and after doing anectomy from the maxillary sinus, there is no sinus cavity mucosa affected. Infection is allergic reaction which is present in nasal cavity. And mucin. In crystal and function type of patients. This is for allergy sinusitis. Here treatment is and sinusitis. This third type of fungal sinusitis, fungus usually invades in the sinus or nasal cavity. This with contrast image ethmoid frontal sphenoid bone. Histopathological examination of fungal debris and nasal are usually fungal therapy with IV amphotericin B. Itraconazole for the 12 months should be this type of patient to prevent the recurrence of a patient with chronic invasive fungal sinusitis, and this type of patient should be monitored by serial CT scan every 2 or 3 monthly according to symptoms or symptoms of recurrences to prevent the fulminant disease development. All these because of frontal recess area in here you can red green arrow. This is a case of chronic invasive fungal sinusitis. Fungal sinusitis, this is usually seen usually mucin then acidosis discharge mucormycosis and arthritis, and so sinusitis treatment is or acidosis involving nasal cavity, removal of the all nasal cavity mucosa is black or is simply affected by fungus or inflamed, and after that irrigation of nasal cavity with antifungal drugs and systemic antifungal drugs like amphotericin B should be given. This type of patient will need repeated CT scan and MRI and repeated nasal endoscopy to prevent the recurrence and to drain the sinuses and to clean the sinuses nasal wash. Sinusitis, fulminant fungal sinusitis has affected the macros, the orbital lobe,